Hi everyone, I'm Anna Peters, Zambia ArTeam member, here today to share with you this fresh take on a French twist. This was actually inspired by a recent photo shoot we did in LA, and one of our models had this beautiful long curly hair that we had so much fun with. And one of the looks was this. It was a French twist that moved the ends of the hair up and over into the front of her hairline and floating over the top of her eye. So we just wanted to break this down for you how we created that. Using one of the 4 foundations that we really find gives our style so much strength and longevity and a really clear path on where we're going with the style. Okay, step 1 to our French twist is to create a very strong anchor, and that's going to be our vertical traveling braid going from the front hairline all the way down to the nape, and we're going to continue that through the ends of the hair. From there, we're going to take our braid, we're going to place it tightly next to the right side of our braid anchor, and we're going to join these together with a pin. So I'm going to tilt her down so you could see what I'm doing here. My pin is going to be joining one side from one braid and the other side from the other braid, and we're just going to kind of rock that back and forth and then slide that right down, and that's going to hold those 2 braids together. Now, of course, we're going to do maybe one more pin just to make sure that these are nice and tightly woven together. And we're going to slide that straight down the center. And then up here, we're going to let that hang out for a little bit. That's not so important to secure those ends up there. Next step, we're going to take our front section that we're going to end up curling after we create our French twist. And we're going to do this by taking a diagonal from the high point of her head to the outside corner of her eye. We're going to bring this over to the front of the hair, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So high point to the corner of her outside eye, and now let's just get this hair out of our way so we can start working on our French twist. So joining both those sides and just clipping that hair out of the way. We'll curl that after we do our French twist. From now, we're going to just comb back this hair. On the side you want to be your tight side of the French twist. Okay, so moving to the right side, I'm going to take this hair and just smooth it back using our Zambia Artist Series finishing brush. And I love this brush because of the really soft 4 bristles that just smooth out the surface of that hair really nicely without digging too deep and messing up the foundation below. All right, so just smoothing that out, and we're going to brush that right on top of our foundation, our braid, and we're going to pin that hair nice and tightly right onto that braid. So using your long pins, we're going to slide right up the center of our braid, our foundation, and right into that hair hanging over it. Same thing from the top, holding that hair tight and just sliding those pins right over that. So now we have that hair nice and smooth, tightly anchored to that braid. So after securing those pins and really smoothing out the right side of the hair, we're going to start the actual twist. So we're going to move this hair, really raking through with our hands. We're going to move this straight on top, almost to a little past our braid and our foundation. We're going to hold that there. I'm going to step behind so that I don't cover the camera and you can see what I'm doing here. And we're going to start our twist. So really kind of using your thumb and your fingers to hold that hair and really just start creating that twist right on top of that foundation. Hold that there, don't let go. Taking a very large hairpin, we're going to go straight in. You'll feel it kind of hit that braid. Now going sideways and going right up into that braid. You're gonna feel the strength that you get, using the ends of the pin to kind of smooth that out for you. And sliding right into that really strong foundation that we've created here with that traveling anchor braid. And moving all the way up to the top, sliding right down into there. Now it's okay if these ends hang out because we're going to actually create a lot of curl and texture through this crown area. But I just want you to take a step back and kind of check out your twist. Make sure, one, that it's straight, and two, that there aren't any holes or bubbles happening there. All right, looks good to me. Moving on to the front section now, where we isolated those two front sides. We're gonna go through now and we're going to create some wave and texture through this. I'm gonna clip those ends kind of out of my way. Find out where my clean partings are here, my sections. And just gonna go through and just create some movement through the hair. So just comb through this section, making sure there's no tangles. I'm going to divide it into two. And really there's no specific way of doing this. It's all going to just lay on top of the head. So I'm just gonna go in with our 1-inch 2-in-1 Marcel iron, and I'm just gonna start creating some curls. Working those ends through. Everything is going to be moving forward and floating over her face. Drop another section down. Creating some more curl. Our 2-in-1 Marcel Iron Wand in the 1-inch size. It's gonna give me a tighter curl on longer hair. So I'm gonna be able to really get a lot more volume and movement out of that size curl. I love this iron because it has so many options for me. One of them being the color treated setting. So my clients that have really fragile, beautiful colored hair that we really want to protect. Maybe they're a redhead, maybe their color fades quickly, maybe they just have delicate hair. We have the color treated setting in the amber color, and that's going to keep that heat at a safe enough temperature to where it's not going to affect the color. Splitting this into about 2 sections to work with. I'm going to continue to do this all throughout what is left on the top section of the head. And now this hair that's left up here, just going to very gently so I don't disrupt my French twist below. Just gonna give a little bit of a bend to these ends so they can merge right into this top. Being very gentle with that. I'm just gonna do 3 curls here. All right. Okay, so now that you have your curls in place, your French twist is done back here. Now we get to start playing with all of this texture. So first thing I'm gonna do, kind of rake through it with my hands. And I'm going to direct it to the top of where the French twist is. Don't worry about this braid, it's all going to be covered up. So once we get to the top of that, I'm gonna just give it a nice little twist, making sure that all my part lines are covered. And I'm going to just secure that and anchor it right on to that braid foundation. Now I can move this hair forward and start placing this on how I would like to see it floating over her face. And this is all what you want it to be at this point and customizing it. Obviously, somebody with longer hair would be the ideal candidate for this look. If the hair is too short, it's not going to really reach over. And I'm just going to continue playing with this until I see what I like. Pinning and securing all these curls right onto that anchor braid, covering that up and giving it a nice secure foundation. Alright, so just finishing up with Redken's Wax Blast as my hairspray to kind of create that texture and longevity with that curl that's hanging off the ends here. There were also a couple spots that I needed a little bit more bend in, that maybe the hair was a little too straight hanging over. So just detach the spoon on our 2-in-1 Marcel, and I just went in and used the roundness of the barrel in the wand form and just kind of would place some of the hair around that wand, creating a little bit more bend and curl where I was wanting to see it. So just a couple helpful tips. All right, so finishing off this French twist, just want to go over it one more time, taking that braid anchor all the way from the hairline straight back to the nape, using that as our strength and as our focal point to move the hair towards, going in and creating a really beautiful French twist that's anchored right on top of that braid as its strength. It's not going anywhere. And then those ends, just curling them, floating them over the top of this style and kind of off into the corner of her eye, securing again this curl into that braid for the anchor, for the support, and of course also for the direction of where is the style moving, so we don't get lost along the way. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed this fresh take on a French twist. My name's Anna Peters, Sam Via's art team member, and I'm so happy you joined us today.